Listen to the greenhouse before I get mad.
You know, basketball has been like there for me from the start. Like that's where I started, in Paterson, New Jersey, born and raised, born in St. Joseph's Hospital. So I'm really originally from Paterson. So, I
Right.
hold my head high on that. And bro, it's just a crazy experience to see how far I've come and to see the people that I met on my way. But, yeah, bro, like I started playing basketball at probably at like 5 years old. My mom and my dad had me going to like this like little kind of like shootouts for like 5-year-olds, like little kids, like not toddlers, but like I say kindergartners and preschoolers. She was having me go to Tim Thomas like camp every Saturday. And I used to
Patterson legend.
Yeah. I used to go there every Saturday, bro. And I just get up and I ain't even played for no team at the time. I was just really starting to learn about basketball. Had my little Tim Thomas shirt on, whatever, little jersey, and I'll just be there. And, I met mad people that I know now, like that I grew up with, even playing in like City League with. I'm like, Dad, like I didn't even know them back then, but now I'm like, we all started from the same type of foundation. And it was good to be here, to see all those guys, really love the game, even at a young age. But that's when I really started to touch the basketball for real. And ever since then, I progressed, and I got to grammar school. I played like for my grammar school team, and I wasn't really serious at that point yet, but I started to know like, all right, I'm loving this. I'm starting to love this sport, like really for what it is. I just started to gain a natural, like kind of like high for the game, and it would just give me like a feeling that nothing else couldn't really bring me, and I just started to really get accustomed to everything and then the rules of the game, the fundamentals. I started to learn at an early age, and then I started to grow too, which kind of helped. I was kind of always tall growing up, but like once I started to really grow, I was like, all right, like this might really be for me. Like basketball really might be for me. And I got to high school, or I got to like 8th grade. I was playing for Players AAU team based out of Paterson, New Jersey. I think the director is Jimmy Salmon. He's like a pillar for New Jersey basketball and stuff like that. He coached back in the day, it was called the Pats Cats, and he coached like Vince Carter, Tim Thomas, Kobe Bryant, all them guys. So to be able to play on the AAU team like that, I'm like honored. Like I was a part of that. Like obviously I wasn't there, but I'm a part of that history. So
right.
Going back to like 8th grade, like that's when I really started to get serious. Like I really want to do this, and it's been serious ever since. And then I went to high school, went to St. Peter's Prep my first 2 years. And, I started playing ball for them, and it was just crazy to to play for just to play in away from home, because I thought always growing up I was going to play in my hometown and probably play for like Kennedy or East Side, but I ended up going to private school, playing for St. Peter's Prep in Jersey City, and we played a bunch of teams. We played St. Anthony's, Roselle Catholic, and it's funny because I ended up transferring my junior and senior year to St. Anthony's because some things happened with the coach and some of the players there at St. Peter's Prep, so it kind of like went downhill after that, and I was like, I kind of don't want to stay, I don't want to stay in the program when things are just going down. I don't want to be a part of that. So I kind of wanted to have a fresh start. So that's when I went to St. Peter's or St. Anthony's, transferred there. And yeah, man, it was crazy to play for Hall of Famer, bro. Like, Bob Hurley, he put me through it, but he taught me a lot, man. And I take, hats off to that man, like respect for him to be doing what he doing, not doing it for the money, not doing it for no huge check, to put a lot of the kids across the globe, like a lot of kids from all different backgrounds into, college and to kind of better their lives is crazy. And I love that man to death and respect him, because I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I wouldn't be a professional basketball player if it wasn't for him. And the kind of like the lessons that he instilled in me off the court, and to bring it to, going to college. My college coach, Greg Horrenda, he actually went to he went to St. Peter's Prep for his 4 years. And that was kind of like yeah, that was kind of like exciting for me because I'm like, man, like I came from St. Peter's Prep and he went to St. Peter's Prep, so it was kind of like a connection right there already. And to even play for him for 4 years, it was just a crazy experience. And you know, that's where I met you ultimately, bro. So you
Right,
know,
right,
y'all, I'm gonna see somebody from the town over here, like you know,
right. Yeah,
crazy, bro. How you know we all connected at the end of the day. It's really crazy, but yeah, man, my years at FDU, you know, I remember coming in as a little skinny, tall, you know, goofy freshman, bro. Coming in, like I was being the only freshman in my class, and
right,
I'm just like, man, like, I don't know what to expect. Like, you know, coach, you know, had like I guess big expectations for me. A lot of people did, you know, family, friends, everybody who really supported me. And you know, I remember just my freshman year just being like, wow, like I'm really a college basketball player. Like this is what I dreamed about. And then, you know, my sophomore year, and it's funny because every year I feel like I definitely got a lot better than previous years. And, you know, I proved in some way, shape or form that I end up improving. And some people, sometimes they don't improve, you know, they just stay the same or they improve just a little bit. I improved and I feel like in every area, whether it was off the floor as well. But, you know,
right.
I definitely was big on like getting in the gym and you know, just constantly working on my body, working on my mind, watching film, all that. And I noticed like, you know, once you really take the time to really see how far you've come, you see all the growth and all the changes that you made that was necessarily for, you know, that time. And just being at, you know, like I said, just being at FDU taught me a lot. And in 4 years was crazy. But yeah, I think, you know, my freshman year was more about just kind of getting my feet wet. You know I was a freshman kind of like starting a lot of games for FDU. And I kind of had a big role as a freshman already coming in, starting many games. And I'm like, wow, like I didn't expect this to happen. And it happened. Like, you know, I just kind of just had to roll with the punches and kind of just, you know, just do what I can. And then as my sophomore year came, you know, my role got bigger and I wasn't really shooting the ball that well that year. And then, you know, I just constantly just was just going harder, like everything else, you know, rebounding, you know, just being a better leader or just being more vocal. Because, you know, coming into FDU, I was very like a shy, quiet type of kid, stayed to myself. And then I noticed as I got older, stayed at FDU and, you know, became a junior, senior, like I opened up more, you know, I kind of came out my shell as people would say. And it was just crazy to even see like that transformation for myself. Like, wow, I came into, you know, FDU being kind of like a, not timid, but like shy, kind of like, you know, staying to himself type of kid. When I
Right.
leave school, I'm like really open and extroverted. And I'm talking to people, and, you know, like it's crazy. So it definitely kind of like college would definitely change you if you are open to the changes that it'll bring. It'll definitely change you for the better. And
Yes, yes,
my junior
indeed.
year, yeah, exactly. You know, and then my junior year, man, we made it to the tournament. You know, we made history. You know, it was unbelievable experience to be where we from and
Right.
to experience that, man. Like I feel like I
Be on
had
the bracket. Oh man, my dog was on the bracket, man. Like
yeah, bro. Like
that's different.
yeah, bro. And to like really to be from Patterson, New Jersey, bro. I'm proud to say like I played in the tournament. I made it that far. Like not too many kids get that opportunity that you know we got or that we get to go that far, even
Right.
to go to college. Even you know
Right.
we don't heard of too many people that we grew up with getting shot or getting out there and just living a different lifestyle than we living in. This, you know, I can't really blame them because they was taught that, you know, they kind of was put into that situation, whereas we got, you know, we got the opportunities to put ourselves in better situations. But yeah, man, to make it to that tournament and to just be on TV, national television, playing for my, you know, my hometown, represent my hometown and then represent my school, represent my family, you know, representing God first and foremost. Like that was just crazy. And it was a surreal experience that I would never ever forget. Like I'm always gonna forget
Yeah.
that. Remember
Now I
that.
want to talk about that year. Because that was the year you got the name all NEC tournament team. So
Yeah.
that was actually a great year for FDU in general. There was a lot of great things going on. It was like campus life, and then people were starting to get into internships and do different things like that. So academically, and as a athlete, it was a great year for the school as a whole. But I want to bring up the point that you actually have a single game record that year.
Yeah.
You actually, when you guys played LIU Brooklyn, you had 22 and you had a double-double in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Now you had 22 rebounds. Excuse me, 22 rebounds. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did it feel once you got to like 10? Did you know, like, all right, I think I can keep going, or was it just a movement kind of thing? I'm just trying to grab all boards.
Yeah, I mean, man, about that game, man. Like, listen, when I got to 10, bro, I don't think I was counting the whole game. Like, it's one of those games where you feel like, man, like you just in a zone. Like you know the zone, bro, when you're playing in the court, or even when you just real focused on something. Yeah, you biting your lip or whatever, you just real focused in the eyes, and you just like, I just felt like that was that game where I was in the zone. Like, it was Coach Harindo always said, like, you always play big, when the games matter, you always come up big. And I'm like, yeah, like, I think everybody should play big when games that are big come up. I think if you're a real true competitor, that's when you really show up in the big games.
Turn it up a little bit.
Yeah, you turn up a little bit. You should show up every night, but the big games, you really like got to turn up a notch. So like that game, because the game before that we played St. Francis, and I had, I think, 21 points. And that whole like weekend, I was just like on fire. Like I was really like, but we gotta win. We gotta win. We gotta go get this chip. I seen it like in my own eyes. I seen like the vision. Like I was like, we gotta get this chip. So when I got like people just telling me like, Dad, kid, you got 13 rebounds or you got 10 rebounds in the like. It was like, yo, you rebounding the ball like crazy. Like you going for it. Like Coach, Coach Sellers at the time, he was the assistant coach. He was like, yeah, KB, keep rebounding the ball, man. They ain't gonna be able to stop you. Keep doing that. And then like, I don't even like, I guess I didn't even know when I got to the 15th rebound or the 16th rebound, they just say like, yo, you was grabbing everything in sight. But it felt crazy, that atmosphere of that game. And it's crazy because my mom had got sick that game. My mom had got sick like that day and she couldn't come. And that I think you could say that kind of helped me because my mom came to all my games that year. And my mom being in the stands, seeing my games, watching my games means a lot to me. I think means a lot to anybody, who has a mother or a parent and they want to see their parents in the stands. So to not see my mom there for one of the first games, for her not to be there, and then also like she's sick, I'm like, oh nah, I gotta go hard. Like, and I kind of like use that as like motivation. Like, my mom's not here, so you really got to give it to them. You got to really go hard. You got to really give it to FDU now. They got to see you mad now. Like, your mom's not here watching you. They got to really see like you turn up.
Press that button, baby.
Yeah, bro. Like I went into that zone. I went into my little quiet place. I got quiet. And I went into just a different place, man. Like, I was in that zone and everything was just flowing. Everything was flowing. I was making shots, getting fouled. I was so focused and I didn't really I felt the atmosphere, like the fans and stuff, but I didn't really hear outside noise. Like, it was just like, kind of the atmosphere was fueling me kind of to perform well. And it was just a surreal experience, but I actually still have that record, single game rebounding record with 22 rebounds, man. And for me to even break a record at a university is crazy. I never thought I would probably broke that type of record, but that's just crazy. Like, when I think about it, like, yo, I really grabbed 22 rebounds, and I think
22 rebounds.
Yeah, and I think somebody had tweeted too, like, I was the only sophomore to do that, and I was one out of 15 Division I players that year to do that. So that was really big for me, man. It really made me just want to work even harder. And every game after that, I tried to go for 24 rebounds. I didn't get to 24 rebounds, but that helped me kind of get double doubles for the rest of that year, because I was like, man, or the rest of my college career, it kind of helped me to get double doubles, because I was always trying to break that record again. So,
yeah, I think that record is gonna stand for some years to come, bro. 22 rebounds. If anybody knows basketball or organized basketball, I should say, 22 rebounds is nothing to laugh at, bro. 20, whether it's offensive or defensive, it don't matter. I mean, you going up, you in there fighting, you in the trenches. So that's definitely a credit to who you are as a player. But I do want to say this as well. anybody knows Caleb, and when it comes to basketball, when he's quiet, it's wolf season. It's wolf season.
Right.
It's time to lock in and it's time to do his thing. Now, one thing I do want to commend you for, like you said earlier, some people kind of stay stagnant in their progression in the game. Some people kind of fall below their marks and what they want to do and accomplish. But you were one of the players who actually got better and better and better, and none of your numbers dropped throughout your career. So your numbers progressed each and every week and each and every year. So your points went up, your rebounding went up, steals went up as well as your free throw percentage. So that's something that I always try to push. It's like, hey, progression is key. Regardless if people don't have the opportunity, to excel to the next level, such as yourself and become professionals. As long as you're progressing on and off the court, that's the importance of basketball and sports as a whole, is to progress and become better. So definitely commend you for that.
Yep. Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Now, can you talk a little bit about like your decision to go to FDU? Was like family orientated? Did you feel a little pressure from your family, or was you try to jump on as soon as possible?
Yeah, definitely. I would love to talk about the decision process and coming after you. That's actually something that, I wish people would have asked me more. Why you chose FDU? So I can hop right on that, actually. I mean, yeah, man, as you know me, man, being from Patterson and kind of being like I guess you can say a city man, I love staying close to home. And, I was even at FDU, I was always pretty much like, I didn't really, I always went home usually on the weekends, and I love being around my family. But I think, coming from St. Anthony's, I had different options to go other places, to go to other colleges. I had different offers to go to different colleges and stuff that were, obviously like they were in different states. But I think pretty much the big thing that stood out for me, being that I'm a spiritual person and, I believe in God, and, I'm very big with my faith, and I put that like for anything, my faith in God, and I'm really, I live by that. And I just felt like God was telling me, like, this is where I'm gonna use you, like here, like, you need to come here. For whatever reason, I could have went somewhere bigger, and everybody was telling me like you go to FDU, or, when I was doing well, they was like, you could transfer this year, you could transfer your sophomore year or your junior year. After we won the championship, by junior year, people was like, what you gonna do? You're gonna leave? I think you could leave and go somewhere better. But I always felt like I was kind of like that big fish in the big fish in the small pond, or the big fish in the sea, kind of. And I always felt like I was that type of person, and not being that I was better than anybody else. No, I don't think I'm better than any soul on this earth. I just think the type of person that I was and the type of work that I needed to do, it was to be used at FDU. I think the connections that I needed to make, and the people that I needed to inspire, the relationships I needed to build, and people that I just needed to be there for, I think that's where I feel like I was needed. And, a lot of my resources and friends and family were, obviously they're from here in Jersey. So, I just felt like FDU was, a big, like, it just felt very, home, felt much like home, and it was close to home. And I didn't really have any plans of going out that far anyway, being that I was so close to my family. And it's funny because my senior year in high school, I had got hurt and I couldn't play in the state championship with St. Anthony's against Linden because I had broke my foot. So I kind of like missed out on playing in the state championship. But thankfully, my team, St. Anne's, we won. We had went 32-0 that year. But, I was already committed to FDU, I think. And I was like, God, if you really want me at FDU, show me a sign. Like, show me a sign. And it's funny because my mom was pregnant with my little baby sister at the time. And this is just one sign. I believe that it was like, that was the sign right there for me. Like, that did it for me. And FDU they had made it to March Madness, and they played Florida Gulf Coast. I think they had played in like the first round. And I remember watching that game. And then my sister happened to be like, I happened to get the news, and we went up to the hospital. Everybody like, yeah, your mom water broke. So they happened to see my mom, but she was born on March 8th. My sister was born on March 8th, and that was March 8th, I think 2016, that they had won the championship. And I'm like, yo, this is the sign right here that God showed me. I'm like, yo, God, I was like, God, I
That's
asked for a
crazy.
sign. And yeah, I'm like, bro, God, I asked for a sign and you delivered. You gave me a sign, literally. Like for her to be born on the day that they won the championship, was just saying like, go here. This is where I need you. Like this is it. So I went there, bro, and like it was crazy, man. Now to see that I ended up winning the championship with this team and to see type of connections and people that I met and just everybody would say, yeah, I could have went here, I could have went bigger, or I could have probably been in the NBA by now. Nah, man, everything happens for a reason. I'm here where I'm at because it's supposed to happen this way. I'm not gonna change anything about it. And I think that is a testament to my character, the type of person that I am, that I don't have to go to the big schools, the Kentuckys, the Dukes, the Pac-10s, the SECs to be successful. You know, I was good where I'm at. You know, right where I was, it was gold under my feet. Meaning that, you know, right where I was, it was success right there. Everything I wanted. You know, I didn't have to go somewhere to, you know, the grass is not gonna always be greener on the other side. We sometimes think so, but sometimes the grass it ain't gonna always be greener on the other side. You know, unless you yourself water it. If you water the grass where you are now, yeah, get more green. That's how I look at it. Now all I had to do was just water that grass. You know, after I had to just water the grass, keep putting in, you know, planting those seeds. And that's what happened. Like, I reached a lot of success being at that school, and you know, and not just in basketball and just in basketball terms, but off the floor. You know, in school, you know, making dean's lists and just like just building like great relationships with, you know, the staff at FDU and a lot of people, a lot of friends. Like I won't ever forget. You know, I'll definitely cherish everything that I've did at that school for sure. But that was really, you know, all it for me. Like it was just that one sign that made me go to FDU. My sister being born on that day, and just me seeing, just having that like home, like type of feeling in my heart, like, yo, this is where I need to be. You know, kind of like I remember it was a Jersey, it was a newspaper article, and it was like, oh, that Jersey guy, like basically like it was news about me committing to FDU, and it was like that Jersey guy was the caption, like, yeah, like I want them to know, like, yeah, I'm staying home, baby, like that Jersey guy, you know, I'm gonna represent my city and my state, man. You know, I'm not gonna go somewhere else. So, yep.
All right. Now I think going to FDU, especially being the player that you were, you actually made the team better. Like in my eyes, watch you guys play, they kind of played through you. Even like your freshman year, everybody throw the ball inside, kick it out, make their plays, do whatever they got to do. But every possession, they made sure Caleb Bishop touched the ball. They made sure 12 got the ball at all times. So even progressing into your junior and your senior year, it only got better. You only became more of a leader and more of a model for those guys looking at FDU who's going to take your steps coming up. Now, I do want to touch on some of your professional highlights. I know going overseas is not an easy thing to do for anybody, especially, you know, changing your whole perspective and culture, trying to learn a new language, eating new food, driving new cars or whatever it may be. TV is different. Your entertainment life is a whole different thing. Can you speak on that a little bit? How do you adapt to that, being where you are now?
Sheesh, man, I got a lot to say about this. Man, overseas is it's a different animal. Like it's a beast. Like you have to be mentally tough to live, like to do this. It's really what everybody said that it was gonna be, or what people that went overseas said it was gonna be. Like it's different, man. Like to come to Bulgaria and think about this. Like I haven't been out the state, you know, at all really. Like I mean, as far as like years, like being out the state, I haven't been out the state for years. Like I went to school in you know, Jersey. I went to school in Jersey for 4 years. You know, I've been home, or you know, all my life. I've been like, you know, just around what I know, what I was kind of like born into. And you know, of course, with AAU, I was able to travel to different states, but I've never been out the country. This is my first time like getting my passport and you know, like leaving the country. So, you know, this getting here, man, opened my eyes up to a whole different world. Not even just with basketball, but just with how like it's more to life than just what we've been experiencing. Like it's more to life than what we see, what we grew up around. You know, even what FDU was like FDU was FDU, you know, That was in what Teaneck, Hackensack. We only seen what Teaneck and Hackensack allowed us to see. But when you get out here, you see so much more. You see the different people, the different cultures, the food, like everything is different. And being out in Bulgaria, man, has been like, it's been great. Like the experience, I'm able to be out in another country playing basketball, doing what I love, getting paid for it. Like it's a blessing. I can't complain. I'm blessed to be in this position, to be healthy enough to be in the position. But man, when I first got out here, man, it was all peaches and cream. I'm like, I can do this. 2 months in, man, I catch COVID. I get pneumonia, bro. Like it's going
crazy.
Like basketball is not even going well. Like there's a bunch of stuff going on, like off the court that's affecting us on the court. Like it's just a bunch of stuff. It's a language barrier, so I gotta understand the language. I gotta kind of like, I gotta bring out the Google Translator. I'm translating to people on the phone. They can't even understand me, bro. Looking at me like you an alien over here. The food gets nasty after a while, like or you eat something that you never seen in your life, you never like ate in your life, and it's like the same stuff every day. And people think like, some people think like, you going overseas, you making like you get into the bag, whatever. That's my, people would say like, you get into the bag, you doing this, man, like the girls and stuff. No, it ain't all like that everywhere you go. It depends where you go overseas. Like if I probably went to Spain or Italy, probably definitely would have had more like of a variety of foods and even people that I would see, because a lot of people come to Spain and come to Italy that's from all over, but nobody really comes to Bulgaria that's from out like, out the country or in the States. Like I wouldn't say Bulgaria is a place where you come to necessarily vacation. You could, but like they see me and they're like, yo, we never seen a black guy before, like in person, like, especially being that I'm tall, they're probably like, wow, like they really look at you like you're an alien over here. And it's crazy because everywhere I go, like, I'm looked at, I'm watched. And like being that I play professional basketball over here, I'm actually like a professional. Like how the NBA is over in the States, that's how I am over here. Like they have news about like me, like newspaper articles about me over here. Like I was on the actual news. When I caught COVID, it was on the news over here, like a news channel, like,
wow.
Yeah, this player, because I play for Baroe. That's the team name that I play for, BC Baroe. So they was like, yeah, Caleb Bishop, number 5 of BC Baroe, or whatever, called COVID. So like, I'm going out to the stores, everybody knowing who I am and whatever. And this is after I had caught COVID, because obviously I had to be quarantined for 2 weeks, but like, they still was knowing who I am. Like, oh, that's the player that had got COVID, whatever. People looking at me all weird. I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like, I can't believe this. Like, they just singling me out over here, man. But it's just crazy, man. Cause this overseas life is really different, man. And think about like, the family part too that comes into play. Like you're away from your family, 7 to 9 months. Like you're not seeing your family really, especially if you don't get a break to go home for the holidays, which I didn't. So this is the longest time I've been out. I'm supposed to be home in like, late April, maybe early May. So I know when I get a whiff for that, when I come back into the States, man, I'm gonna be so relieved. Like
that
even when I
Chick-fil-A gonna hit. That Chick-fil-A gonna hit, bro.
Yeah, bro. Like for real, like man, even when I got off the plane in Bulgaria and I flew, because I flew into the capital over here of Bulgaria. So when I got here, the air was even different. I was like, oh, the air a little different. So I know when I get back to the States, I'm gonna be like, man, I miss that air. Like I'm gonna just take it all in. But man, this situation that I'm in, or this experience that I'm having right now, I could definitely say like it hasn't been easy. Like you have to be mentally tough to go overseas, to kind of like drop everything that you kind of used to and to come over here to start a whole new life. You're kind of on your own. You have to learn how to cook different things and kind of start over. Really, you kind of gotta not forget who you are, but you gotta forget what you kind of like learned back in the States, because some things that you learn in the States ain't gonna fly over here. It's totally different culture. I'm almost kind of talking not fluent Bulgarian, but for the most part, most of my words is Bulgarian that I talk, because I have to talk to my teammates in Bulgarian. I have to talk to coaches in Bulgarian. So even the people at the store, I got to tell them what I want. And, it definitely makes you more diverse, and it makes you more like, it kind of broadens your horizon, because then you're picking up on different languages, knowing like, even picking up on their language, learning about the language, that there's some history that goes into that too, because they don't say yes means no over here and no means yes. So like if you shake your head like no, that means yes to them. And yeah, this means no.
That means no.
So
wow.
That was messing me up when I got here. They was like, they was like, oh, would you like some water or whatever? Or I was like, can I have, they was like, would you like any drinks? I was like, and then the lady did not bring my drink out ever. And I was like, excuse me, miss. I said I wanted this. That's what and she said, no, you said this. That means, she's like, that means no over here. I'm like, oh, she's like, yeah, it's a history behind that. So that kind of like, I looked up the history and I learned about the history of why they did that. And that was just, it's deep, man. It's really deep when you really learn about the cultures and you go into like what they, what they're about and the things that inspired over years before you were even, thought of, like that. It's deep. So
yeah, that's crazy, man. I would never expect something like that. Like just even little sort of things like that.
Right.
Now, tell us some of your goals that you have for the next upcoming season.
Yeah, you talking about next season or just like
the rest next of season?
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. I mean, next season I definitely want to put on like some more weight as far as like get stronger. I kind of feel like being over here, not that I haven't been eating, but like, it's not the same. I don't eat the same food. So I kind of probably lost a little bit of weight, but it's nothing too crazy. But I definitely want to get like a little stronger because even like the physicality of the game over here, I'm playing with grown men. I'm not playing with, necessarily like, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds anymore. I'm playing with, grown men, like almost like 45, like they're heading out type, and I'm just not coming in. So, their bodies is way more advanced and way more developed, than mine, or that at least they, have strong, fit bodies where they already filled out. And I'm trying to, get there. But I think, yeah, I'm definitely want to put on some more weight for next season. That's one of my goals. I want to get my handle tighter. I want to work on my handle. I feel like, it's kind of been a struggle to get in the gym a lot over here because the gym that we use to practice and to play, it's a gym for all, because like the way the team works is like they have the men's team, which I play on, the men's professional team. They have the girls professional team. Then they have a little league teams, like younger, like youth teams where they have like the boys youth where like 18, 16, 17. Then they got the girls youth, 16, 17, 18. And like it goes down from that, like goes down to all the way to like, I think 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds. So like sometimes it's hard to get in the gym on my own. I kind of can't work on my game and the things that I want to work on. So I kind of have to use like time after practice or time before practice to work on my game. But I would say like my handle got a little loose this season, but it's cool because, I'm still doing everything I can that, can help my game, like rebound, block shots, whatever, get fouled. So, I definitely want to work on getting my handle tighter so I can be able to handle that rock, against pressure and play more out, on the perimeter. That's what they got me doing over here too. They got me playing more outside. And I always kind of been a versatile player playing inside and outside, but definitely want to get my handle tighter and probably just get a little bit more, like increase my 3-point percentage for sure for next season. Okay. Definitely, because I think I'm at like 40% right now, and I'm taking a lot of shots, a lot of threes, but I definitely want to get to like 43, 44. I think that would be good for somebody like me at my size shooting the ball at 44%. I know my free throws are like 80% right now. That could be better. That should be like 89, 90. I should not really be missing free throws. That's why they're free. So you should be making them. And those really some small goals I want to, those are small goals that I have for myself. And I think the big goal right now or upcoming for the next season is really to just, whatever team I'm with, is to win a championship, to win a championship and to, to get MVP. I definitely want to get MVP of the league, whatever league I go to next year. I definitely want to work hard to get there, get MVP and win a championship.
Right. Whether it's with Bulgaria and Biro or it's another team, I'm pretty sure you're gonna be in the talks, bro. I know the player that you are. You work hard. You work harder than a lot of these athletes that I know. Even if we go back to FDU days, you worked out with some NBA athletes like Andre Barrett and some of these guys.
Yeah, man. Yep.
Who were veterans. So it's nothing new to see you working hard, bro.
Yeah, bro.
And then even this season, I know you're gonna reach those numbers. 43 is attainable, bro. 43% is definitely attainable. By the end of the season, I need to see that 43% from three, bro. Need to see it. Now before we head out, can you just give like the youth a word of advice, whether it be going into school or just something off the court?
Yeah, for the young guys and just the youth, you know, girls and guys, all ages, you know, just want to say that you know, take everything that your people older than you, take what they have to say serious. The ones that care about you, your teachers, advisors, you know, coaches, take what they have to say serious. Really be a good listener, be coachable, be teachable. That's something I learned from a youngin'. As my way up is still the same thing. They say be teachable, be coachable. Don't be arrogant, you know, don't think that you have all the answers, because, you know, we watch all these, you know, in basketball wise, sports wise, we watch all these great athletes who achieve these levels of greatness, and we try to mimic them and think that we can just turn it on like them, when in reality they worked. They spent, you know, hours, they spent mornings, nights, they spent like a huge amount of time on their craft. So I would say for the young people, you know, be coachable, be teachable. Don't think you could just turn it on and it could just happen like that. Even if you do, you know, God bless you with, you know, a talent that you think you can just turn it on, you have that natural instinct or ability, you still have to put in the work. You want to be great, you still have to put in the work. And, you know, my athletes, and, you know, just stay focused, you know, grind, you know, with sports, grind hard, practice. And I know it might sound cliche, but it's really, that's all it is at the next level. You want to make it to the next level, the highest levels, you have to put in the work, you have to practice, because, you know, people are going to pass you up, and people are going to be practicing, and people are going to do what they got to do, and they're going to achieve the goals that they got to achieve. But you got to just practice, practice, practice. People think that, oh, what separates the overseas players from the NBA players? It's really just all the same. Sometimes it's just, you know, right person or right place, right time, like that you got into that opportunity that person's in the NBA. And yes, like it's a lot of people that I played against even now that are overseas that could have a shot in the league. I'm still, you know, working to get there right now. And it don't matter where you go, it's really about who you are. And also, I think the huge, big thing I could say right now that I could take away from all of this is character, you know, character. The next level, and not even just with sports, but in life, you know, in the corporate world, your character matters. Your character speaks volumes more than just what you can do as an athlete or as a worker, as an employee. To character is how you respond to situations, is how you treat the janitor differently than you treat the CEO. So it's really all about your character. That's what I learned. Yep.
All right. Well, Caleb, appreciate you.
Yep. No
Hey,
doubt, man.
It's all love over here. You know, we've been watching from the beginning, bro. It's only beginning. It's only starting.